What's up, folks? Casual Dad here for just a quick late night stream. I'm not going to do too much here, and I just tried to go live too. I still need to figure that out. I got to figure out if the live issue is, or that it's not working for me is because of hardware or software. So, or excuse me, hardware and network, whether my network is too slow or if my hardware is too slow. Hopefully going to get a hardware upgrade soon, but we'll figure that out later. But what I wanted to do is take a minute to jump in and enjoy the lovely new decor in the backdrop. The art team did a really good job with this backdrop as usual, and it looks really good. And it's a fun shakeup, and I love how often that mixes up. But what I really want to focus on is top level chaos. And chaos is an interesting faction. It's one of my favorite factions. It's one I play a lot, and it's funny in ladder play. It feels somewhere between really good and very challenging, and it's very matchup dependent. But one of the things that I notice a lot is how it feels very different from the other factions, but it's always missing something, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the decks I've been running. This is one I just tried, and this fell completely flat on its face. Now we're going up against top level Necrons, so it's no surprise that it's going to be really challenging. You've got just a massive load of Big Game Hunter, regeneration, shields, enormous health pools, and just crazy, crazy damage, and a lot of ranged attacks, so they really benefit from the current modifier, which is the +5 to range damage at the end of every single turn. So this fell completely flat, in part because of draw order, where I got 2 Medicae and 2 Taunt in my first couple draws and didn't get any of my heavy hitters. But it still has a lot of the same challenges that I'm running into before. And there's a couple things I wanted to point out about this is your taunt is either squishy or expensive. Squishy or expensive, somewhere in between it on the squishy side. Your Medicae is on the expensive side. Expensive, expensive. You do have some shields, but and you've got Big Game Hunter, you get Fear, you get shields. They've got some tools. But let's look at some of the other decks I've been running. So I tinkered with, let's go in order, why not? Played with a mask, just thinking that if my cards could punch these things faster and take them down more quickly, it could help me kind of take these down. Um, and it's been really challenging. I just lose cards too fast, and then the mask hits the table, and I'm up against a Silent King or a Nemesis Zendrek, who are just able to like hide behind stuff until they take out the mask fairly comfortably. So, and again, the big issue is we've got Shields and Big Game Hunter. We've got Furious Charge and Big Game Hunter. We've got Barrage and Berserk. Like, we've got some really Big Game Hunter. We've got some really big punchy cards. And let's go ahead and try. I've lost enough that the next couple matches are probably going to be fairly easy. So I don't want to waste my games too much. So I'm going to talk more about the decks real quick before I get into it. So I tried this one, talked about some of the issues. I tried this one just to go ahead and do Glogothrox and hopefully kind of bleed the attack stats of some of these things before they kill me. And this was pretty good. I won a couple matches with it, but the problem with this is to bust through shields, it's slow. I've got this guy to clear shields and do the poison damage. Poison is basically negated by Medicae, health pools, regen. So it's just slow to get through this, and they punch so much damage back that it's not as effective as I need it to be. I need to kill stuff faster, or survive longer, or both, and I'm struggling on that. And this is an interesting spot because we're talking about, or I talk quite a bit about how Chaos range damage is the most powerful attack type in the game. It's fairly consistent across all of the factions. Psychic pops up and down a little bit here in all of them, but ranged really is king. And how Chaos ranged falls short a little bit. And it's not necessarily because they don't have options for ranged, it's they don't necessarily have traits that benefit from it. They don't have any ranged exclusive Warlord. You could say all three of these kind of do it, but with caveats. And Huron, of course, with caveats too. But they don't have anything specifically for ranged attacks, and they don't really have the support pieces you need to make ranged work really, really well. Works fine in the ladder, but when you get to 400-point campaign matches, it gets really freaking hard. And this is a max level campaign, and I basically have all the cards. So the challenge isn't necessarily that I don't have the right cards or the right levels for it. The challenge is like there's something fundamentally extra challenging about these campaigns. Chaos, especially Chaos versus Necrons, my god. And the decks that I started with were your Hatred's Embrace decks, because I really enjoy this one. It's been a lot of fun. I have 3 decks for this guy because I ran him through most of this campaign. This is what I started with to go for max bonus. You get that Barrage Poison, which is nice, even though it's range 1 or rank 1 poison. Shield is good defense, little target acquired. We're probably going to run this again because it's a pretty stock ranged chaos deck. It worked pretty well. Then we've got this one. I leaned heavily on Psychers for shield clearing. The shields are really nice for defense. And then these three all will clear shields as well as applying that poison. This worked pretty well for a while too. A couple matches in the middle, and then I just started losing with it. Of course, the Keeper of Secrets just being good at everything, but still dying pretty quickly to the volume of fire and big Gem Hunter you've got across the board. And then this is the one I tried most recently, really leaning on that melee fear to try to punch through some of the stuff a little bit more quickly. Still has some of that target acquired to hit stuff off lane. It worked for maybe one match, and I got pretty lucky on that one. I'm winning by losing, going back 2 levels, so I can beat that, and then just making it easier as I go through, which is kind of how you're supposed to do it. It's supposed to be impossible at the top level, but it's really kind of made me think a lot about some fundamental weaknesses of the faction. Then I did also have a Supreme Commander Abaddon deck that I played with a little bit, and this was fun. I went for pure ranged bonus, and seeing the Soul Grinder in there has been really fun. That's a really cool card and worked out pretty well. But this one also, I believe this one did peter out. We're going to go ahead and do Hatred's Embrace. We're going to do that pure ranged one in the beginning just to see how that works. Because it's got a little bit of everything. We've got target acquired, we've got taunt, we have fear for defense, we've got big game hunter, we've got shields. It's kind of an all-rounder as best as I could put it together. And it's not using Hatred's Embrace's trait too much because I don't have all that many 40 plus point cost cards in it. Okay. 40 or more point cost cards, yes. So this is only level 13. I've been topping out around 18, and that gets really, really freaking brutal. Yeah, it's going okay. Good. Pop this in here. Go ahead and do that target acquired in the center lane. Perfect. This guy is a menace. My God, it's annoying to take this thing down. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and drop this here. It's just the combination. So like just looking at this, health pool, fear, shields, ranged primary. So he's really good in both stats, but is a very good ranged attacker. Like this is a monster chunky thing to go through. All right, we got one. Nice. And this guy's pretty good, but you can see how quickly those hit points are going down. And I got to be really careful. I do think that Trazen suffers a little bit at Apocalypse level because cards just die too fast to actually get captured. So like watch this be the time that I lose this thing. He's gonna get kept. Yep, he got captured. Great. All right, well at least it's 13. I actually kind of want to lose this one so I can play a little bit more. No, I want to win this one because I want to show the high level play. I don't want to show you level 13. I want to show you 17 and 18, and I may or may not be able to make that. We'll see. Watch me just win outright after saying all this. So you see that bonus from Hatred's Embrace. We do a lot of damage, which is very nice. We got the big game hunter to punch through this. Feel pretty good, but there's still 5 bodyguards in this deck. One of them is mine. In this thing. Holy crap. Like, the combination of the wound pool, regen, and fear. So double defensive traits plus huge amount of hit points, buffing damage that just continues to get scarier throughout play of the game. It's just incredibly difficult to deal with this thing, and the Necron faction is full of them. And Chaos just doesn't really have a good answer to these things. So like I just lost, I'm down to 3 cards, and he's still got 2 in the bank, and I need to figure out how to deal with this stuff. And this is level 13. And again, it's supposed to be hard. Like this is a tougher campaign. It's supposed to be more challenging than normal. But still, I'm kind of struck like, what am I missing? What is it that I don't have that I need to take down these cards? Now, I may actually be able to pull this out because Hatred's Embrace is very scary. No, well, that's not going to help. Oh, God. Okay, never mind. Yuck. This thing being low hit points, I figured that Hatred's Embrace could probably pull it off the side, and then assuming I can go up against Trazen himself one-on-one, that's a good matchup, but this is not going to go in my favor. All right, that's brutal. Okay. Yeah, and right after saying that Trazen's ability hasn't triggered at all, man, I wish that I had recorded the games I've been playing all day, because I played a ton of games in this campaign, and there's just been a lot of different things that I was observing, but you could barely see any of it in that match. So we'll see kind of what else we can do. I'm going to go ahead and show one of the other decks. I'll show Supreme Commander Abaddon. We'll go ahead and show the ranged one because I talked up the Soul Grinder. I want to show that a bit. It's a cool card. It's funny. The Defiler is one of my favorite models. The Soul Grinder, I've always really not liked the model, but it's grown on me over the decades. Decades. Yikes. It's an old model. Okay, now we're up against the Stormlord. We're at level 11, so this should be an easy one. I should have no problem doing this. We got an infantry card here, so we're just going to try to just nuke that thing. And we've already got max level Nightbringer is not the toughest thing to deal with, but it's not. Yeah, you just don't want to deal with it. And he's only like a 50-point card. He's got nothing on the scary stuff that comes out. But even that, like Necrons have really good durable options. So good that they don't even. Oh man, I'm lucky that guy didn't get taken down. And then we've got the nice multi-buff from the Supreme Commander of Aden Strait. Yeah, Necrons have just crazy, crazy, crazy durability. And if they also get level 11, if they also benefit from the automatic damage pumping, which they are, that is just an insane buff for them. So they're really, really hard to deal with. Ooh, yeah, nice. Nice. I actually forgot about this guy. This guy's pretty excellent in this matchup. But here, let's take a look at this thing. So it's 39 points. It's not 40, so it doesn't get Hatred's Embrace's bonus, so I haven't been using it in Hatred's Embrace. It's got good base ranged. It's got big Game Hunter, but it's got a piddly little wound pool. And that's one of the things I'm running into here is it's especially apparent in the matchup of Necrons versus Chaos, but Chaos has really flimsy cards. Really flimsy. Even the upper end of the durability spectrum, their durability absolutely pales compared to Necrons and most other factions too. Like you look at Acheron or Space Marines. Space Marines can tank way more damage than Chaos can in pretty much every single attack type, no matter what. You just have a lot more chonk in your Space Marines. You think about Servants of the Emperor, they've got all those defensive traits. You think about Eldari, they have stuff that gets better as it dies, but their offense is through the roof. So I do think that Eldari have better offense than Chaos, which is a little bit wild. Throw you in here, buddy. And yeah, these Satan are really tough to deal with, but a lot of what I'm trying to get at, I don't mean to just complain. The big thing I'm trying to get is like, what am I missing? Why is it that I'm having so much trouble with Chaos as opposed to other factions? And it is, oh God, the Stormlord himself. But at least I got max level Fear here, so this should be pretty good. And we'll see. Whoop. Yeah, so my board just gets wiped. Every single turn, my board is wiped. Which, that's always one of the things about the high-level Apocalypse game. So I won this one. It's level 11, I'm supposed to. But the rate at which my max level card board is getting wiped is just a little bit alarming. And that, again, is one of those things that really stands out about these upper-level challenging matches, particularly with Chaos. Yeah, oof, man. And I love playing Chaos. And I really, really love playing Chaos in the ladder. Chaos is a really strong ladder faction, but does struggle in these campaigns or in these matchups. And in PvP, one of the reasons I'm really harping on this is because in PvP, Chaos is quite weak, comparably to almost all the other factions. Space Marines, of course, rule PvP, with Servants being close second. All the factions kind of putter in a little bit here and there, but Chaos is particularly weak in max point, Apocalypse mode, PvP. Chaos just completely falls apart. So let's try one of the other ones, just so I can show you the other versions. Let's try this Mask deck again, see if it can work. Now, I'm using this in part because this is where I have the one shielded big game hunter knight. And I had a really hard time with that because I ended up against a Stormlord, and they just readied and readied and readied and then hit me with like 500 damage and punched straight through his shields in one hit. So the mask ability never triggered. It's not great. But yeah, so we got this card in here. That's a good sign. And it's only level 12, so this again should be an easy matchup. We'll go ahead, and I enjoyed the mask in this because that's an opportunity to do things that have very good melee and ranged and get the most out of them. Like these guys, 100 in both stats is great. And hopefully being able to kill stuff before it hits you is also a nice perk. Which I believe we can here. Blop. And he may still hit me. No, he doesn't. Okay. Oh, he does. Okay, he just hits you last if you kill the endless copy. All right. And then we have this thing. And like, this is again level 12. I don't really want to shoot that. I don't really want to hit it in melee. I want to hit it back with my ability, but there's no good way to take that down. And especially with the Silent King, he can ready me to death. And that's kind of where we end up. So he didn't ready me to death that time. That turns off the mask's ability. Then we got the shields. And I just don't have a way to deal with this. I don't have the toolbox to take out shields and the amount of hit points on both of these before my stuff dies. I just don't. And that's not limited to just Necrons. That's something that Chaos really struggles with kind of across the board. Which is funny because they do have the powerful psychers. They have some of the better shield clearing abilities in the game in terms of like your heavy psychers and such. But they clear the shields, but then they don't have the follow through to also go through the heavy wound pool. So you get one or the other, not both. And that does feel uniquely challenging. It could just me be harping on a point, but still, it's arguably my favorite faction, a really interesting one with some really cool traits and abilities, and just falls. It doesn't feel like it's quite there, and I'm still not entirely clear on exactly how or why, even after this whole experience and talking this up the whole time. But look at this. This again is level 12. This is fairly early in this campaign. Should be a relatively easy match. Usually they don't actually get hard until around level 20. This, of course, being a harder campaign than most, is a little bit different. And now here I am about to play my Warlord against the Silent King. And I don't have a way to deal with that. And this also is with the mask, who should be getting free attacks back, should have some edge here, and I just don't. And that's one of the crazy things too, is like on paper, this should have been an easy, favorable matchup for me, but it's clearly not once you actually see it in play. Yeah, so the Silent King hasn't even dropped yet, and I am already in trouble. Now we'll see. This may be the magical match that changes it all around, and again, it is level 12. But I bet he's able to just completely smack down the mask, even with that rank 2 fear. Oh, so that is nice. So we've got that big game hunter, but look at that. Ouch. And now I still have to punch through that and the Silent King before I die. And I don't think I have it. Now he can't kill me either in one shot, I think, with the readies, with that range debuff. So we'll go ahead and try this. We want to at least get the taunt off this so I can hit him from the flank. This guy may be able to kill him. Nice. Okay. Woohoo. He chose not to shoot me. All right, we got it. We pulled it out there. That was really good. All right, cool. And now we're going to run out of charges. I really should have started recording this sooner when I was in the 18, 17 upper end of that. But it still tracks. So you saw how close that was, even at rank 12. You can only imagine what it was like at rank 17 or 18. It was wild. So we ended that at top 4% of that campaign, which is pretty great. Feel proud of that. I'd be really curious for those of you who did really well in this campaign to hear kind of what you did that worked so well. I find a lot that when I talk to other players, they say, "Oh, I just did this combo and it worked." I just breezed right through it. And there's usually a facepalm moment of like, why didn't I think of that? But yeah, I'd love to hear the secret sauce if you did really well on this. The like top 1%, the folks that absolutely rocked out this campaign, would particularly love to hear that. And I think I can check the leaderboard on this one. Maybe. I actually don't know how to check. Yeah, there it is. So let's see. Thinking. We'll do that again. Yeah, I clicked the wrong place. See if it's any familiar names up here. Probably. Dace. Well, hi, Dace. No surprise there that Dace is that high up. And let's see. So some of you folks really got up there. Tier 6 or 7, Angry Ron. Love it. Love it. The Unforgiven always popping up high there. Nice. And they're probably going to pop up above me in a bit. I'm real close here. Probably going to stay In the top 5%, maybe, but we'll see. Only a couple hours left in this one. Ooh, Dante, nice. Yeah, a lot of pretty familiar names in here. Some other new ones, but yeah, wild campaign. So it ended up in top 4%. There probably are some matches where I mucked around too much or could have kind of cheesed the um, bonus conditions where like making sure I had the maximum number of cards in deck, making sure I had the maximum number of hit points on board. I probably could have cheesed that a bit to get a little bit higher in victory points, and a lot of these levels are pretty close. Um, but still, I probably couldn't have done a whole lot better than I did, and I'd be very curious to hear how other people did better. So that's it. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it was fun. I love chaos. I love playing chaos. I love the challenging campaigns and missions. I enjoy banging my head against these puzzles. I hope it still sounded that way and I wasn't complaining too much. Um, but yeah, it still is an interesting puzzle to unlock. Like, what am I doing wrong with chaos? Is there something the faction still needs tweaked? Is there something we're missing here? Are Necrons just that good? Um, yeah, I Necron super heavies are completely insane. Yeah, the combination of regen fear with Medicae shields, like the stuff they have in there, is crazy hard to deal with. But it just goes to show that there's no fast way to deal with that wall of durability, especially if its offense is really strong too. Um, it's just kind of a little bit outmatched. But still, it was fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Looking forward to the next one. Scourging of Gnosis. Yeah. All right. Anyway, it's been a while since I did a campaign coverage, so I wanted to go ahead and hop in and do that while it was still up. And I don't think I've ever done that like last couple rounds of a campaign. I usually miss those. So I was happy to put that in here and see you around.